Happening now, why county health leaders are telling Mayville residents not to drink the water. Plus, new restrictions were rolled out in Pennsylvania. Could we see those impacts here?
And the sun is out for this last day of the work week. And hey, we're still keeping an eyes on the weekend. Another storm system will impact our region. We'll tell you about it next. 12:30 starts right now.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
And thanks for joining us for WNY News Now on this Friday. I'm Justin Gould. The Chautauqua County Health Department is asking Village of Mayville water customers to not drink their water after perfluonic acid was detected in the pipes. The health department says the advisory was made out of an abundance of caution after sample results received late Wednesday for the Village of Mayville's 3 water wells indicated the presence of the chemical. Officials say water can still be used for showering, bathing, cleaning, and washing dishes. However, boiling water will not remove the chemicals. Now, during a town hall addressing the issue, health leaders say since the chemical is new, there's not much known about it.
We're learning more about them, but we do want to be very precautious with the exposure because we know that, they have a long residence time, both in the environment and in humans. And so it's important to stop exposure. When there's an unusual or significant source, it's important to stop exposure once we know about it.
Now, leaders do not expect residents who drank the water to see immediate health effects, but believe over time developmental defects and other issues like liver failure could occur. They still don't know where exactly the contaminants came from, but say their investigation will find out. So in the meantime, bottled and canned water will be available for pickup at the Town of Chautauqua DPW garage at 50 Patterson Street in Mayville this afternoon from 4:30 to 6:30 and Saturday from 10:30 to 12:30. Those who are unable to leave their home can call the health department at 716-753-4491 for water distribution. There is not an estimated time as to when the order might be lifted. Well, the state of Pennsylvania is shutting down indoor restaurant dining, youth and high school sports, gyms, and casinos as part of new coronavirus restrictions in the state. Pennsylvania Governor Tom Wolf and Secretary of Health Rachel Levine made the announcement yesterday. They say the new limited time mitigation order takes effect tomorrow and remains in effect until 8 a.m. on January 4th. In addition to the business restrictions, gatherings are also now limited to 10 people inside and 50 out. Here locally, 61 new cases of COVID-19 were reported in Chautauqua County and 91 new cases in Cattaraugus County yesterday. Governor Cuomo just this morning said he will not close down the state again unless hospitalizations reach 90% capacity. And more likely, that would be targeted on a community-by-community basis. Well, a major step forward to getting Americans a COVID-19 vaccine, an advisory committee to the Food and Drug Administration approved an emergency use authorization of a Pfizer BioNTech vaccine, but it's not the final step in the process. So, how long before you can get one? Nadia Romero explains the latest from Washington for us.
As COVID-19 continues to ravage the country, Americans getting a vaccine could stop the spread in its tracks.
So we do have a favorable vote, and that concludes this portion of the meeting.
From the FDA to the CDC, where a committee there must also give the vaccine a green light. And if that happens,
20 million people should get vaccinated in just the next several weeks.
So here's how Pfizer BioNTech says it'll happen. Within 24 hours of the FDA's emergency authorization, much of the vaccine will be shipped from Pfizer's facility in Michigan. First, going to hospitals and pharmacies nationwide that partner with the federal government. Next, healthcare workers and residents in long-term care facilities are at the top of the list to get the vaccine. But that timeline could depend on which state you live in. Take Illinois, for example.
Yes, there are a lot of people in that priority group, and yes, we want to make sure we get it to you, but no, it won't happen on day 1 or week 1 or maybe even week 2. So patience will be the name of the game.
So for younger, relatively healthy, non-essential workers,
end of March, early April. Once you get into April, probably full blast with those individuals.
some details are still being ironed out, but the goal is to make it as simple as getting a seasonal flu shot.
They'll come in at their scheduled time. They'll meet with the pharmacist or technician. They'll get a record card with the vaccination that they got. We'll also email them that record.
In Washington, I'm Nadia Romero.
Nadia, thank you. Now, if fully approved, New York State could see the first shipments of a vaccine next week. Well, as COVID-19 hospitalizations rise nationwide, local health leaders are working to increase hospital capacity, but they say a lack of beds will likely not be the problem. Chautauqua County Health Director Christine Schuyler says the largest factor locally is not a lack of space to put the sick, but rather a lack of staff to care for them.
There again, another reason why it's really important, especially for our community, to think about who you're coming in contact with, and especially if you are an essential worker and you get sick, then that means there's that many less people to take care of those who need taken care of.
Now, officials with UPMC say the health system's capacity threat of COVID-19 is not in jeopardy, as only about 20% of their available beds are currently being used to treat COVID patients. They say the hospital has allocated resources, including staffing, personal protective equipment, and treatment options around the healthcare system to better anticipate the needs of patients. Furthermore, officials feel that the health system is prepared to not only treat COVID-19, but to continue patient care in any capacity, including elective surgeries when they're allowed to take place. Well, we thank you for joining us for WNY News Now as we continue to put facts over fear in our reporting of the COVID-19 pandemic. And if you're just joining us here at 12:30 following the governor's live press conference briefing, which, so you know, will now be taking place Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays unless otherwise needed by the governor's office, big news announced that he does not plan to have another statewide shutdown in the near future. However, he does say that if hospitalization rates get above 90% with capacity, then he will likely have to take action, but plans to do that in microcluster zones. So a lot of anxiety out there with hearing of Pennsylvania shutting down, and the governor today not speaking specifically to PA, but says that it's not necessarily his plan like other states are. Let's check in with the comments. Good afternoon to Raymond. Thanks so much for joining us. Good to see Amanda, William, Tony, James, Erica, and Paul as well. Let us know what you're doing down in the comments below. We really appreciate people like Jay tuning in every day. Well, now let's get a check of our First Defense weather forecast. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter joins us with that. And Dakota, it's looking like a pretty nice Friday out there, my friend.
Yes, it is. It is going to be a fantastic to this work week here, and this is a live look over Salamanca. 40 degrees right now, and the wind in Salamanca right now, the wind's not especially as strong, and yeah, just a lot of sunshine out there. The satellite radar composite basically just confirms that for you. Just a few of those high clouds moving across the southern tier. That's it. Otherwise, we're going to see a lot of sunshine for the afternoon, and temperatures milder. Yes. This is something we've been talking about all week long, about how as we got toward the end of the week, temperatures were really going to start to go up once again. So temperatures right now across the region right now, and there it goes, 46 right now. I think the computer's saying, I've had a long week. I just want to go for the weekend. 47 in Mayville right now, 54 in Fredonia, 50 Harbor Creek, 54 also in Erie, also in Brant as well, 49 Randolph, 47 Delavan, 43 over in Olean. And the cooler spot, as often, is going to be the hills and the valley locations across the inland areas today. That is going to be it. Otherwise, everybody's going to warm up to almost near 50 and maybe even above 50 in some spots. 38 was the high yesterday. We bottomed out at 32 this morning. 55 is the record high for this date, set back in 1897. I was not doing the weather at that time, and 7 below zero was the record high, was a record low for this time back in 1904, and again, was not doing the weather back then. Partly to mostly sunny through the afternoon today. Much more of a milder day. Than, of course, what we've had this week. Not much wind out there. 47 to 54 with a southwest wind 6 to 12 miles per hour. We're keeping our eyes on the weekend situation. We'll time it out in detail in a few. Justin.
All right, Dakota, thank you. 2 Cattaraugus County residents are facing charges after sheriff's deputies allege they neglected horses this month. The Cattaraugus County Sheriff's Office says 41-year-old Donna Truesdale and 41-year-old Stephen Remington failed to provide proper food and water for the animals. They say the horses have since been seized from an auto road property in the town of New Albion. The 2 are charged under the state's agricultural and markets law with failure to provide substance, proper food, water, and neglect. They're scheduled to appear in the town of New Albion court at a later date. Meanwhile, 2 City of Jamestown women were arrested after police and federal investigators allege they plan to sell methamphetamine here in the local area. The U.S. Attorney's Office in Buffalo says that 27-year-old Astana Babcock and 34-year-old Celeste Carr were charged in separate criminal complaints yesterday. The Jamestown Metro Drug Task Force first raided Babcock's Westcott Street residence here in October when officers seized a pound of suspected meth, drug paraphernalia, and around $62,000 in cash. Now, that same day, the task force executed another search warrant at Carr's residence, which was also located on Westcott Street. During the search, law enforcement officers recovered 15 ounces of meth, around 3 ounces of fentanyl, packaging material, a digital scale, and a drug ledger. The charges carry a maximum penalty of 20 years behind bars and a $1 million fine. Straight ahead here, the possibility of a big solar project coming to Kyantone, what residents had to say at a public meeting last night. But first, a pizzeria expansion. We explain what local restaurant will be moving into the old Pizza Hut on Fairmount Avenue. Stay with us as Jamestown's best news continues.
Happy holidays from WNY News Now.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvanna Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
Want weather now? Download the WNY News Now mobile app and stay up to date on severe weather alerts. Plus, anytime hazardous weather strikes, stick with the Southern Tier's only 24/7 streaming network that keeps you safe. You're all in a tornado warning, so now is the time to go to a safe place, small room, lowest floor, near the center, away from windows. What are you waiting for? Download the WNY News Now mobile app today. It's free in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
Wishing you a safe and happy holiday season. WNY News Now, the Jolly Team, where coverage comes first.
When this all started, we were already very strong in takeout and delivery. And the minute this all happened, we had in March and April 40 to 60% increase in sales, which was just incredible. We had hired an additional 6 to 8 people during that time just to help us get through.
The owner of a popular pizzeria is expanding his operations to West Ellicott. John Raymond, the owner of Honest John's Restaurant and Pizzeria on East 2nd Street in Jamestown, says the expansion gives him a great opportunity to serve new customers amid an increase in takeout and delivery orders caused by COVID-19. He is opening a sister location on Fairmount Avenue where the old Pizza Hut was located. Raymond has been working hard this week to clean up and remodel the site. The new location will allow Raymond and staff to offer expanded delivery and enhanced pickup through a new initiative he's calling Curbside Express.
Basically, you're going to be able to pull in, place your order online, and you'll be in our parking lot. We'll be bringing it out to, say, space number 2, and you can prepay it for it there. We'll bring it out right to your car, and we're going to do all that hopefully in about 10 minutes or less. We're going to have about up to 15 different items available for that, and that is what we're going to be really pushing. You're going to hear a lot about Curbside Express from Honest John's.
Yeah, certainly pretty exciting. Raymond says being able to rehire workers and create new jobs in the community is good for everyone. In total, around 15 to 18 new positions will be created when the pizzeria opens its new location sometime in January. Well, the town of Kyantone held a public meeting last night discussing the prospects of a local law that would better protect the town's interest in solar power. Town Supervisor Joshua Ostrander, town board members, and other local officials heard from several residents on the matter. Now, several concerns were brought up, including protecting area roads from heavy equipment used to install those farms, to labor requirements, making sure certified professionals would be tasked with the job. Ostrander says currently there is not an official project proposed. However, a company is interested in leasing land south of Donaldson Road, around 800 acres to be exact. He says the project would continue with or without the town's approval, but the law would look out for everyone's interests.
We're hearing from residents that they've been contacted concerning lease agreements and things like that. So they've been here, they're operating here, and we think they have a plan, and they're just waiting for us to finalize this law to make application.
Now, the council also discussed possible environmental impacts of a local law on solar fields. The town's attorney says the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation would inspect specific projects prior to approval and determine their specific impacts on a case-by-case basis. The town supervisor says a vote on the law will take place in January. Well, lawmakers in Washington are facing two major financially focused deadlines. One is how to keep the U.S. government running. The other on how to help millions of Americans during a COVID-19 pandemic. John Lawrence has more.
Unless Senate leaders fix last-minute differences, the U.S. government shuts down at midnight.
We have to have a bill, and we cannot go home without it.
Republican Senator Rand Paul wants colleagues to first agree to delay consideration of the National Defense Authorization Act over an amendment he says limits a president from withdrawing troops from war zones.
The neocon advocates for unlimited presidential war powers should own up to their hypocrisy and admit that their love of perpetual war trumps their oft-stated unitary executive theory.
This, as independent Senator Bernie Sanders is demanding a vote on a provision that gives Americans $1,200 stimulus checks.
The American people want their government to respond to the terrible crises that they are facing today, and you just can't walk away from that.
As the government shutdown deadline looms, COVID-19 stimulus package talks are stuck.
People are in lines begging for food, looking for food for each meal for their children. And the renters are absolutely terrified that they're going to be evicted.
We need to pass COVID relief before the end of the year, and I hope members of the Democrat leadership will decide that they're willing to move forward to meet our country's most critical COVID priorities.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
John, thank you. There is a sense of urgency in Congress to write and vote on a stimulus proposal because some aid programs that were approved back in March, including the jobless assistance measures and eviction protections, expire before the end of the year. Well, those are students at Jamestown's Washington Middle School who were able to hold their first choir rehearsal since March. The school's music teacher, Marie Capabraca says the socially distant practice is for their holiday concert, which will take place virtually this year.
I will be making some soundtracks for the parents and families, and hopefully that will be ready right before our winter holidays, and so they can enjoy it over the break.
She says so far the group has held 2 rehearsals in the auditorium. Certainly pretty exciting, and they're sounding pretty good. Let us know what you think about that and more in the comments down below. Thanks so much for spending your Friday with us. Good to see Kate, Lori, Anna, Wendy, and Scott. Dakota, it's great, I think, to see the community continuing to be able to have things like this, even though we can't necessarily meet in person, yet they're still able to spread out in the auditorium and record their singing to send home to parents.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
I mean, I think one of the best gifts a child could give to their family or their parents is something that is kind of homemade.
Yeah.
And, obviously when it comes to singing and whatnot, I'm not sure if that classifies as a homemade gift.
I think it does. And I think it's something that they can take with them pretty much forever throughout the rest of their life, and to have something on tape like that is absolutely
Justin, you're
incredible.
showing your age.
We
don't use tape anymore.
It's tape. It's all relative. It's all
Right.
relative.
But
Tape,
seriously,
digital.
When was the last time anybody used tape?
Well, I'm relatively speaking. I know it's not on tape. Like if I tape somebody, I'm not really taping them. It's on an
Right.
SD card or something, But
I'm just trying to lighten the mood a little bit.
I guess I have that old sense that where I think of something's on tape. I don't call it we'd call it disc. Is that proper?
It's not even relative anymore. Disc.
No, like I think it's still disc if it's on the hard drive. Like our program says record to disk. That's what it's called. I mean,
Right.
maybe that verbiage needs it bad. Record to cyberspace.
Yeah, there you go.
That's where we are.
Record to the interwebs, because that's where it all goes, through Ether World. Hey, let's take a look at the Skyvision camera on top of One Seneca Tower in downtown Buffalo. And I wanted to show you this because do you see those little black things floating in the water? Right about there. That is the Lake Erie ice boom. They are in the process of putting that in. So since they're putting in the ice boom, we brought this graphic back just to kind of show you kind of like what the ice boom is, some of its key facts. And, obviously, we know we get people who move here who may not know what the ice boom is, but it's basically 22 of these floating pontoons that are anchored to the lake floor, and it's put in every winter season. And the reason they put this in is because it prevents the ice that forms on Lake Erie from flowing down the mouth of the Niagara River and causing flooding to the lakeshore properties along the river. And also there's water intakes that go, there's these water intakes that go to the hydropower plant that's on top of Niagara Falls. So obviously that holds back the ice from obviously, the damage there that occurs there. And they take the ice boom out when there's under 250 square miles of ice. The earliest they've ever taken the boom out was on February 25th of 2012, and the latest it was removed was on May 3rd, 1971. As of right now, we're at 46 degrees, not feeling like winter at all right now. South wind at 10, the wind chill is at a measly 41 degrees, so not too bad out there. Hey, Peak and Peak has announced they are opening next Friday on the 18th of this month, so that's another resort that plans to open. Cockaigne still plans to open tomorrow, and Holiday Valley, no change to the basis, 6 to 28 inches, 6 to 28 inch bases with a machine groom surface. Hollywood and Mount Pleasant have not yet announced opening dates, but I know Mount Pleasant hopes to open before Christmas, but we'll see what happens there. And obviously there's really no snow in the forecast here, but it's going to be great snowmaking weather with temperatures going back down into the 30s next week. This is our storm system right here. It's actually over Kansas. It's moving from Kansas over into Missouri. It's tracking like this to the northeast, and this is going to be moving to our northwest over the weekend. That's the same storm system that was over New Mexico yesterday. So it is a fast-moving storm system. We'll show you here on FutureScan. We've been talking about this all week long, about this weekend situation. So here it is for you. So widespread rain showers are going to start to come in tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow morning should be mainly dry, and then we'll see the influx of moisture coming in the afternoon hours. Now, the best chance of rain on Sunday is going to be in the morning hours, and then it starts to taper off for the afternoon. But notice what happens here as colder air starts to filter in, as a cold front moves through. We actually start to see some snow showers setting up Sunday night going into Monday, and we're going to see a few snow showers continuing through the day on Monday. I don't think accumulation is going to be anything major, maybe about an inch or so, but we'll see on that. So zone forecast, Lake Erie shoreline, warmer spot here today. What month is this? I don't know, because these temperatures don't represent December at all, maybe 57 degrees over in Erie. Now, the inland areas here, some of these temperatures might be a bit conservative here, especially here in town, 50 and 52 in Warren. Some spots may get 53, 54, maybe 70. Well, no, not 70, but it could happen. Next 7 days coming up, brought to you by 42 Degrees and Sunny. 50 tomorrow. Rain showers will become more widespread in the afternoon. 42 is our morning high on Sunday. We fall all the way to the lower 30s, likely around 31 in the afternoon. Monday, 33 degrees, a few scattered snow showers. 30 on Tuesday, just a cold day. As we head into Wednesday, we still see a few renegade flakes. And then, yeah, we're not joking, on Thursday, we may stay in the upper 20s all day, Justin.
Wow, certainly a big change in temperature, Dakota. Thank you. Well, my favorite segment, in an effort to help animals find their forever home, we're partnered with the Chautauqua County Humane Society in our Pet of the Week feature. Joining us now is Amanda Sublett with the Chautauqua County Humane Society. Amanda, thanks so much for being here today.
So this is Shrek. He's a little excited right now. Come here, buddy. He is about 2 years old. As you can tell, lots of energy. He does need somebody who's going to be able to help him keep that energy level down and train him so that he can use good manners. Come here, buddy. Come here. He's not going to be good with cats. Not going to be a good fit for small kids. As you can see, he likes to jump up. He's going to knock somebody over and unintentionally hurt them. So what's best for everybody? He's very smart, but we're working on some manners with him. Come here, Shrek. Come here. Thank you. Thank you. Good boy. Yeah. Thank you. You were doing so good earlier. So good.
Wow. He certainly is a ball of energy. He just loves Brian by the looks of it.
He is. He's actually going to be hanging out at the mall with us this afternoon and tomorrow as well. If somebody is interested in meeting him or any of our other animals, they can stop by there as well. Shrek. Come here, Shrek. Come here, buddy. Come here.
Amanda, how has the mall events been going so far? Have you had a lot of people who have come out to meet these animals in person?
Really, really well. There's been a lot of people showing up. We've done a lot of adoptions, a lot of cats finding their homes. So we'll have cats there tonight as well. I'm hoping to find this guy a home as well as Mooney, who will be out there later too.
Having some technical difficulties.
You know, that's the hardest thing is talent management. That's what they tell me.
Yeah. So we look forward to seeing everybody at the mall.
Absolutely. So, what are the times that you'll be there today and then tomorrow?
We'll be there from 3 to 7 today, and from noon to 4 tomorrow.
All right, perfect. So if you can, head down to the Chautauqua Mall, and you can meet somebody like Shrek. Thank you both so much for coming on the show again today, and hopefully we can find Shrek a good home.
All right, thank you.
And again, to learn more about Shrek or the other residents of the shelter, you can contact the Chautauqua County Humane Society via phone at 716-665-2209 or visit chqhumane.org. Well, that's going to do it for us today. Of course, news continues all weekend long at WNYNewsNow.com. We'll leave you with a live look over downtown Jamestown. Have a great weekend. We'll see you back here on Monday.